having problems, he is fornicating, drinking, he's smoking, he's polluting my reputation. Sometimes you say, Alhamdulillah, let him get rid of him and get it over with. So the Prophet said, the children, these who die, will wait at the gates of paradise. When when they are told to enter, children, they will reply, not until our two parents come. They will be told to enter paradise along with their parents by Allah's mercy. Now, when you read this hadith, it's authentic and we believe in it. But when you come to your own feelings and you say, okay, would I sacrifice 3 of my children just to enter paradise? It's very difficult. And that is why we never go there. We never think about this. All what we think of, oh Allah, innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. We think, oh Allah, grant us your afiyah. Grant us your afu. Afiyah and afu. What is the difference? Afiyah is in this life, in your body, in your health, in your children, in your financial aspects. Al-afu is forgiveness. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us His mercy and to grant us all the things that we need to have our life as normal. In another hadith, the Prophet addressed the women now. Now men can easily handle this problem. It's a calamity. If a child dies, khalas, what can I do? Next. Women, it's difficult. Women, it is devastating because they carried the child for 9 months. They had the labor. They breastfed the child. So it is a part. It's part of the flesh. For us, it's for the women, it's different story altogether. So that's the Prophet addressed the women by saying, any woman who has 3 children that die will be shielded by them from hellfire. A woman stood up and said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, what about if she had 2? And the Prophet says, 2. In another narration, one of the companions said, by Allah, we thought that if we told the Prophet about 1, he would say 1. And this is not because of your own doing, this is because of Allah's mercy upon you. Secondly, what you should do when a calamity befalls upon you and someone who's close to you die, you should make al-istirja'. What is istirja'? We mentioned this before. You say, inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is istirja'. And the hadith, I've mentioned that to you. I think this is the translation I was talking about. Allahumma, what do you have? Ajirni fi musibati wa khulufni khayran minha. This translates to, oh Allah, grant me refuge. No, this is wrong. Change this into, oh Allah, reward me in my affliction and replace her or him with someone better. So it's reward. It's not grant me refuge. Because what refuge are you asking Allah Azza wa Jal for? He's dead. But you ask for Allah to reward you for being patient on that. And this is the linguistic meaning of it. The hadith, the problem with those who translate, they may fall short of knowing the stem of the word itself. So, ajarakallah, when I say ajarakallahu min ash-shaytan, I'm asking Allah to grant you refuge. Ajaraka. In Arabic, when I say reward you, ajarakallah. Ajaraka and ajaraka. It's different completely. And here it's not Allahumma ajirni, Allahumma jirni. This is Arabic. Allahumma, it's a different 2 words completely together. Anyhow. Okay, the Shaykh is going to an issue of mourning for the women. So, does it mean I'm not patient if I mourn the dead? And by mourning the dead, he brought a hadith where one of the companions, one of the tabi'een went to Habiba. Habiba, we know that she is the... Who's Habiba? Wife of the Prophet ﷺ. Who is she? Daughter of Abu Sufyan. So her name is Ramla, as stated in some of the books. Her brother is Muawiyah. Her mother is Hind. Her father is Abu Sufyan ibn Harb. So Habiba, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, said, I heard the Messenger of Allah say, it is not allowed for any woman who believes in Allah and the last day to mourn for the dead for more than 3 days, except in the case of her husband, in which case she may do so for 4 months and 10 days. Zainab bin Jahsh, who's she? Also the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. After her brother died, three days afterwards, she requested perfume and she started putting perfume on the side of her face, and after wearing it, she said, I don't need any perfume, but I heard the Prophet say, the hadith that you've heard. So both, subhanAllah, wives of the Prophet did the same, just to indicate and to teach the others that mourning is not permissible after 3 days. So 3 days you may be sad. You may avoid wearing perfume as a man or as a woman. You may refuse to do this or that because you mourn your father, you mourn your brother, you mourn your wife. But after the 3rd day, khalas. And it's not allowed for you to say, no, Allah, I will not wear any perfume when I go to prayer because I'm still sad for my sister's death. No, this is haram. This comes into innovation, except for the wife. And the wife has to wait the iddah period, which is 4 months and 10 days, unless she's pregnant before delivering. If she's pregnant, then her iddah finishes as soon as she delivers. So if if her husband dies at 10 o'clock a.m. and she gives birth at 10:30 a.m., she can get married at 10:45. Yes. Khalas, she's a stranger and she is allowed to get married. So that would be... anyhow. Okay. Then point number 21, the Shaykh is stating that if she even skips the 3 days of mourning, in case she has a son, that would be even greater. Allah allows the women to mourn for 3 days and nights. But if she does not mourn her deceased person because her husband is there, this is much better. And he gives a story of Sulaym and her husband Abu Talha. Sulaym and Abu Talha. Who's Sulaym? Anyone? Sulaym among the sisters? Sulaym, nobody knows. Abu Talha, definitely. Yeah, the husband of Abu Talha. Good answer. Does anyone, sisters, know? Sulaym, brothers and sisters, is one of the greatest female companions of the Prophet ﷺ. So we move on. This is not enough, Sheikh. All the companions are great. Sulaym is the mother of Anas ibn Malik. She is the smart woman. When the Prophet came to Medina, she brought her son, Anas. She said, O Prophet of Allah, my son, 9 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old, is a learned boy. Keep him with you. He serves you for nothing. And she gave her son, her flesh and blood, to this stranger who came from Mecca because she believed that he was a Prophet of Allah. And by Allah, this was the best thing she ever done for her son Anas. Now, whenever you hear the name Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, you say, radiyallahu anhu. He learned so much from the Prophet ﷺ. And we have a lot of hadiths narrated by Anas. So what could you find something more intelligent to do than her? Would you do this if the Prophet was there? Depends on your level of iman. But she was an entrepreneur. She knew, she could see the vision of the future, that this is the greatest man ever to walk the earth. So I'm not going to just pass by. She gave him her son. Sulaym, when her husband died, Abu Talha, who is from Al-Ansar, came to marry her, but he was a kafir, he was a mushrik, he was a pagan. And he said, I propose to marry you. You are one of the great women, you're known for your reputation. And subhanAllah, they never addressed the issue of beauty. We have so many companions, female companions, seldom you would hear or read in their biography that she was beautiful. But you find someone like Asma bint Umays. You know Asma bint Umays? Yes, no. Asma bint Umays, may Allah be pleased with her. She was married to Ja'far ibn Abi Talib. She's the mother of Abdullah ibn Ja'far. You remember we just mentioned him? After he died, who married her? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And he had a son from her. I think his name was Muhammad. And then after he died, she's the one who washed him. We come to that. She married who? Ali ibn Abi Talib. La ilaha illallah. What features did this woman have? Money? Was she a bombshell? And her father was a terrorist because she's a bombshell. Anyhow, was she anything? No, but she was a woman. And women are measured not by their beauty, but by how they treat their husbands and how they take care of their children. And this is on the sideline. Ali ibn Abi Talib, he was a third man, and her third husband, and two of her sons from previous marriages, Abdullah ibn Ja'far and Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. The father is Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, his brother of Ali. And the other one is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So both of them were fighting. The boys. My father is better than your father. So no, my father is better than yours. And Ali was sitting there and he says, you're the judge, Asma. Who's the best? So she looked at them and she said to Abdullah and Ja'far, your father was the greatest upon the youth, the youngsters, young men. He was the best. And she looked at Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr and she said, your father was the greatest among the old people. Because one was old, one was young. Ali looked at her and said, what did you leave for me? Yani, if he's the best among the youngsters and he's the best among the elders, so what am I? I'm your third husband. She said, by Allah, the two, or that is three, you're the third one of them, it's not bad. If they're this magnitude and this caliber. He said, by Allah, if you said anything else, I would have hated you. Because he knows that this is the truth. And he loves her because she tells the truth. She does not go here and there. So this is on the sideline, but let's go back to Sulaym. Sulaym, this woman was extraordinary. This woman was, if we devote a course on her achievement and her life, that would be something worthy of attending. Sulaym, when she was approached by this man, who was dignitary among his people, but he's a kafir. He proposed to her. What did she say? Look at the diplomacy. Look at the answers that come. If someone came to one of our women today, who's like this, is you kafir? Are you in your mind? Get the hell out of here. You don't even dare look at me or talk to me. Sulaym did not do this. She said, by Allah, the likes of you are not rejected. You are a man of high position and status and wealth, but you're a kafir and I'm a Muslimah and I cannot marry you. So if you accept Islam, I will marry you. So the man went, gave it some thought, and said, what's holding me back? Islam is the right religion. He accepted Islam, and she did not take dowry from him. She said, your Islam is my dowry. And they got married. And they have a lot of stories, but this is not the appropriate time. This story about mourning, He had a son, Abu Talha, from Sulaym. They married and they had a son, and his name, if I'm not mistaken, Umayr. And he was 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, and he's always sick and recovering and sick. And in the final days, he got really sick. So Abu Talha, before going out, how's the boy? She says he's okay. He goes and works in his farm. He comes back at the end of the day, tired. How's the boy? He's okay. All of a sudden, the boy died while he was at the farm. So she covered him and put him at the side of the room. When Abu Talha came, he comes at the end of the night. After she took care of the child, she bathed, she applied the creams on, the perfume, she did her hair in the way that he likes it best. She cooked a very good meal. Abu Talha came and found the meal, and he said, how's the boy? She said, he is as quiet as he can be. She manipulated the words to give him the impression that he is, mashallah, he's very good. He's dead. So he sat down, he ate the food. Mashallah, felt good, looked at his wife. She's, mashallah, taking care of herself. So he slept with her. And after they got it over with, and mashallah, he's fully satisfied, both mentally, physically, and stomachally, if this is applicable. She said, our neighbors are frustrating us. And they said, why? He said, why? She said that they borrow things from people, and when the people come to take these things from them that belongs to them, they refuse. So is this halal? He said, no, by Allah, this is not halal. This is something that it was borrowed, and they have to return what's not theirs. So then she said, in this case, ask Allah Azza wa Jal to substitute you something better than your son, because your son is dead. How intelligent can a woman be? And the man was frustrated. He said, now, after you made me eat your meal and have intercourse with you, you tell me this? By Allah, I'm going to tell the Prophet ﷺ. So he goes to the Prophet ﷺ and he tells him about what happened. And he smiles ﷺ and says, may Allah bless your night. 9 months later, she gave birth to a man. The companions say, that narrate this hadith, by Allah, this man who is the son of Abu Talha, I saw 7 of his offspring, all reciting the Quran by heart, and all people of knowledge. So look at the da'wah of the Prophet ﷺ. May Allah bless your night. Look what a blessed night it was for them.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Take a few questions and then inshallah we'll break out for Asr Salah. The question is, Shaykh, is it true that the mourning too much over a dead beloved person is painful for his or her soul?
This will come inshallah after the break.
Inshallah.
We're talking about the things, this is not mourning too much. The thing that is painful on the soul is crying, as the hadith. But we will come to elaborate on this inshallah later on.
Inshallah. Is it permissible to pray funeral prayers at the place of residence for the one who died at the hometown, like ghaibana namaz?
This will come inshallah. Also maybe tomorrow when we talk about the funeral prayer.
Yeah.
But the answer is no. There is an elaboration when it is permissible to pray. This is called Salatul Ghaib. It's praying the funeral prayer or someone who's absent, who's not there. But we will come to talk to it inshallah in detail, inshallah.
When someone says anything about his death, can the reply be, may Allah forbid? It's a common phrase used in the Urdu language.
Yeah, we say it, la qaddar Allah.
Yeah.
And it appears to me that this is not part of the permissible way of saying, unless he intends it that God, may Allah forbids this now.
No.
Maybe it's inevitable.
Exactly.
That is why when Habiba, may Allah be pleased with her, once the Prophet came and she said, oh Allah, matti'ni, may Allah make me enjoy my father, Abu Sufyan, my brother, Muawiyah, and my husband, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She's praying to Allah Azza wa Jal that Allah prolongs their lives more and more. And the Prophet told her, you have asked Allah for آجال مضروبة. How do you translate this? Sheikh Dr. Mamdouh is there? No, he's not there. So you ask Allah for ages that have been done with. Khalas, Allah set the age for this one and for this one and for this one. So there's no point in saying, may Allah prolong your age. Khalas, it's done. So you don't ask Allah for such things. But if the intention is, yani, when you die, God forbids, yani, not now, but may Allah postpone it as much as possible, this is inshallah permissible.
What to do or what to say when we hear a news of a non-Muslim friend or a colleague who passes away?
The Prophet ﷺ gave an instruction to one of his companions. And he told him, whenever you pass by the grave of a disbeliever, give him the tidings of hell. And he said, Wallahi, this is a burden on me. Because every time I pass by a graveyard of disbelievers, I say, I give you the tidings of hell. Because you're not Muslims. So if a colleague that is not Muslim dies, you do not feel sorry for him. You do not pray for him. You do not give condolences for him unless in very minor incidents. And you should feel sorry for yourself for not doing the da'wah for him. But for him, as he's dead, khalas, he's in hell. Most likely, if he dies as a kafir, he's in hell. There is no way in between saying, no, ya akhi, this celebrity who died, Christian, inshallah, Allah will forgive his sin or her sin. When Lady died, everybody is saying, she's a Muslim, she's not. She's a Muslim, may Allah forgive her. She's beautiful, ya akhi. May Allah forgive her. Subhanallah. Michael Jackson dies, he embraced Islam. He came to Bahrain. He was here. Ya akhi, people that we know that they did not accept Islam, we treat them as kafir. And we know, generally speaking, that kafir are in hell. Now, do I say that this individual is in hell? No. I cannot say that Michael Jackson is in hell. But I don't say definitely that he is in paradise. He's a kafir. He's dealt with and treated as a kafir. And Allah Azza wa Jal takes care of putting him in hell. Or maybe he said before he dies, few minutes, La ilaha illallah. I don't know. I treat him as what appears to me, and Allah knows best.